All right. Hello, and welcome to an episode of Who Knew in the Moment, the podcast. Today, I'm very fortunate to have Alex Molden with me. Alex is a retired NFL football player, and something that you're going to learn a lot about today from him is just his passion. And one thing that stuck out to me as I was learning about him is he has three words that has helped him, and he learned them in his NFL career, and then he's continue to use that, and that is alignment, assignment, and adjustment. And so I'm excited for him to elaborate a little bit on that story later. But Alex, thanks so much for being on today.
Phil, man, hey, great to see you again. It's a pleasure of mine. I love to connect with people, and yeah, man, I'm super excited about our talk today.
Absolutely. So to kick it off, Alex, once again, the premise is who knew in the moment, where we focus on, these pivotal moments that we didn't know at the moment would be the trajectory moment. But as we reflect on it, we realize, hey, that was a really pivotal spot for me. And for you, eighth grade, you get the opportunity to start figuring out what this football thing is. So talk a little bit about just, your introduction to football and, some of the initial enjoyment you got from it.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think I have to start it with, um, I didn't play organized football. I played everything else. We did gymnastics, did soccer, did baseball, but for some reason, I never played football.
Yeah.
And, a couple of times because I just missed the cutoff. We moved around a lot. I'm an Army brat. So, we spent time in Oklahoma, spent time in Germany. And I just, growing up, just never had a chance to. But anyway, like in eighth grade, I finally got a chance to play football. Now, I didn't know what, I didn't know, the only football I played was out in the street, with all my homeboys and whatnot.
Yeah.
So finally getting a chance to put on some pads and, helmet and whatnot, it was, it was so much fun. And what made it even more fun is I got a chance to hit people.
Yeah.
Now I didn't know how to tackle. I didn't do any of that. I didn't know any of that type of stuff. I just knew, I watched some football and we didn't watch it as a family, but I watched it and I just, man, that was pretty cool. You can hit people and take them to the ground and, you don't get any flags. You don't get kicked out the game. So I instantly had a love affair with it.
Yeah. Now, the eighth grade season probably didn't go as planned. I think we ended up losing every game, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Lost every game. I played for the boys club in Colorado Springs,
Yeah.
and we only had one coach. We didn't have an offense coordinator, defense coordinator, quarterback coach, DB coach. We had one coach, and I lost every game, but that did not derail me. I
Yes.
loved it. I loved every second of it.
Yes. So that catapults us into high school. So you say, hey, I had a great experience in eighth grade. Now that I'm in high school, I'm going to start enjoying it. And, what I'd be curious is, in your high school career, when did you start seeing the success and noticing, all right, I'm better than most. I've got a potential, opportunity to play this at the next level.
I think I started to get it after my freshman year,
Yeah.
and I got to tell you, man, things kind of start and not just for me, but for others. I think when you get inspired,
Yeah.
right? Because we can be motivated, have a motivational talk or a show or whatever, and you're motivated, but that doesn't last very long.
Hmm.
I got inspired by this, by watching something,
Yeah.
and and it was something that my friend had ended up getting a year subscription to Sports Illustrated. Now, if you grew up, back in the 80s and whatnot, there wasn't the internet, it wasn't
Yeah.
there yet. Okay.
Right.
But you would get a subscription. And so for this, it was a subscription to Sports Illustrated, right, for a year. And with that, you got this VHS. Another thing that some folks might not remember, but a
Yeah.
VHS tape of something called the Crunch Course. So the
Yes.
Crunch Course was this 45-minute reel where you had NFL like superstars and they were mic'd up. And it really showed them train. They showed Walter Payton training. They showed Dick Buckus and all his hard hits, and Ronnie Lott and Kenny Easley. But one particular gentleman, name was Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence
Yeah.
Taylor was outside linebacker for the New York Giants. He's a Hall of Famer, but he was mic'd up, and and it was at the end of the show. And I watched him and I heard him and how he hit people, and then the trash talk that happened. I got inspired, and I was like, "Well, oh, that's what it looks like to really
Yes.
hit people. That's what it sounds like. That's the type of talking that goes on between players and teammates." And I just embodied that. I mean, I remember watching one summer before my sophomore year. I watched that thing over at my buddy's house like every day during the summer. And then when fall camp came, I was like, I was ready. But I think what to your question, Phil, is when I started to kind of learn, and then like I
Mm,
said, my football IQ was very low because I
yeah.
didn't play it, I didn't watch it, but I started to get a chance to go to these different camps.
Yeah.
And so I went to these different camps at colleges. Uh, I think I went to one at Colorado, right? CU.
Yep.
I went to there, and there was a lot of kids. And this
Yeah.
was right when Colorado was like, I think they right before they won the national championship. And so I would go, and the line for DBs was a long line, and all the guys from like the Denver area, the big schools, they were jockeying to be first.
Mm,
And so I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm gonna go to the back of the line and I'm gonna start watching. And
yeah.
so I figured, man, if I go to the back of the line and if I watch, I listen to the coaching cues. I listen to them saying to the athletes, what they're doing good or what they're doing not so good, then I can get reps. I can get mental reps. So then
Yes.
by the time it's my turn, I should be able to do it perfect. And so, I started to do that and I was like, oh, he's giving me good feedback.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold on, this is something here. So instead of always fighting, jockeying to get to the front of the line, I would get in the back and I can be able to get extra reps. I
Mm,
wasn't one of those guys that was talking in the line and hey man, look at that girl over there. Oh man, she's pretty. Or what. No,
yeah.
I was looking and watching how can I get better without actually doing the reps. And
Yeah.
so that was key for me, man. And so I continually start to do that. And then when I went back to my high school, I even did it then. And then of course I started to get the hang of things and I started to be considered a leader. So then yes, I started to get into the front. But man, getting those extra reps, man, by putting your ego in your back pocket
Yeah.
and understand that I'm not where I want to be.
Hmm.
How do what type of character do I need to take on to become the person that I want to become? I need to get smarter.
Yeah.
So how do I get smarter? I get extra reps, extra
Yes.
mental reps. And so I started to do that, man, and I started to have some success at the high school level. And I started to kind of like, okay, this is, I'm pretty athletic and I worked my butt off in the off season. That's where it starts at, right? It starts with
Hmm.
working. You got to
Yeah.
do the work. And I started to do that and started to see the growth that I had. And from there, got an opportunity for a scholarship and just kind of jumped at the chance. But I really fell in love with not just the game of football, but really all the ugly stuff, like the
Mm,
training, the getting up, the eating right, the running. I fell in love with the process.
yeah. That's good. I love that, especially the spot where you highlight, it wasn't like I went to the back of the line to hide, right? I wasn't going there so I didn't have to, get feedback. I went back there so I could get extra reps and I was intentional. I was paying attention to that. That's so phenomenal.
Absolutely.
That's good. So as the
Yeah.
high school career progresses, we now are getting recruited. We're getting the opportunity to evaluate a lot of big schools, and you end up making the decision to head out to the West Coast. So talk a little bit about what that decision was like and why you ended up making the choice you did.
Man, Phil, man, I wish I could say that I made the decision based off of these foundational rocks and these things, right?
Yeah.
And really, it didn't. Like the biggest thing that really separated Oregon from other places is, and it's important, but it was the relationship that I had with Coach Zumbukos.
Mhm.
So he was the recruiting uh, person for coach for that area,
Yeah.
and just how he recruited me, it was just all about integrity.
Yeah.
He didn't tell me, and I was getting recruited like I was getting recruited heavily by Michigan, by USC, Tennessee,
Yeah.
Colorado. All these coaches would come and they would tell me all the good stuff. They would try to sell me right
Yeah.
on their university. But Coach Zoom was like, he was straightforward. He told me, what University of Oregon was about, what they want to do, how they saw me, and understand like, it's a journey. Nothing is given to you.
Yep.
We ain't gonna hand you anything, Alex. You're gonna have to work. And we're looking for players like you. And it's just like how he went about it. And he would always, this is something I still to this day, like whenever we talk, he always asks, Alex, how's your mom?
Yeah.
How's your brother?
Mhm.
How are you doing? It would always be in that order,
Yep.
even to this day.
Yeah.
And no other coach ever recruited me like that. It was always they trying to sell me, hey, you can come here, you can be the best thing since sliced bread. You can
Yeah.
go into the NFL. You can do this, we can do that. Man, it was just and that gets it starts to sound a lot the same
Yep.
back then with me being recruited. And Coach Zoom just told me like he didn't tell me what I wanted to hear. He told me the truth.
Yeah.
And so that got me to the University of Oregon, along with I had a phenomenal recruiting trip, had a ton of fun, and that was right in the process. They were building a new facility.
Yep.
So of course, I'm 17 years old. I'm attracted to that. That's pretty cool. Cool weight room,
Yeah.
all this type of stuff. And the possibility when I looked at it, I said, man, if I go there and I know I'm going to need to redshirt, like because I'm still, my football IQ still isn't where it needs to be. If I go and redshirt and um, I can watch and learn from older guys. When I'm a redshirt freshman, I can come in, I can possibly start.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. And I'm gonna tell you, Phil, like when I redshirted and I came back that spring, so the seniors they're all gone and one guy who was he was an established starter,
Mhm.
but then the other position was wide open. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm on the depth chart going into
Yeah.
spring ball. I paid my dues. I registered. I should be like one or two. Man, on the depth chart, I was fourth. And first, of course, I get into my feelings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I get sad. I'm like, man, this ain't fair. This ain't what. And I was like, okay, hold on, Alex. Let's just look at the facts. Everybody, the guys in front of you, they've been here and they've learned they have a little bit more football IQ. How do you, what type of character do you need to have to become the starter?
Yeah.
So I started watching the guys and I was like, man, they're not giving up touchdowns, but they're giving up everything else. They're playing soft.
Mm.
Check. Alex, you're going to be aggressive.
Mm.
So I started to get into a bump and run
Yeah.
type of corner. And I did the things that they didn't do because all the third string to second string. And then by the time the spring game came along, I was a starter,
Yes.
but it was a process.
Yeah.
And I just had to look at things and like, man, just look at the facts instead of like getting all in my feelings.
Yeah.
And I looked and I was like, okay, I need to do things that are different. I still need to do my job, but I need to be different.
Yeah. That's very profound at the age that you're at, right? Because Being in athletics myself, that's not the normal reaction, right? For a lot of people, it's like, man, forget it then. Like, if coach doesn't want to play me, I'll just transfer, right? Or if coach doesn't want to play me, I'm just going to wall over here and I'll blame it on someone else, opposed to really, taking grasp of it and saying, no, hey, what do I control in this formula, right?
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
good. So
Yeah.
as you're at Oregon, then the opportunity to play the next year presents itself, and it's a good year. Things are going well, and a bowl game happens.
Yeah. So, um, I had to preface it. I was 19
Yeah,
at the time,
yeah,
and we're playing in the Independence Bowl. It was back then for University of Oregon, any type of bowl game. They didn't have a ton of
yeah,
bowl games. So any type of bowl game, that was big things. And
yeah.
so us going to the Independence Bowl, that was the second bowl game within 20 years that Oregon has gone to. So it was a big
Wow.
deal.
Yeah, that's a big
So,
deal.
right, big deal. So, we're in this game and I end up getting a pick six. I got an interception and basically walked into the end zone. And we on national TV. I'm feeling good. My mom, the cameras in my face. I'm, hey, mom, But then
Yeah.
just a couple of minutes later, I end up tearing my ACL, MCL, and severely stretching my PCL. But I'm going to tell you, like, that happened. And for a long time, I blamed it on the receiver. The receiver cut blocked me or chop
Mhm.
blocked me. And for the longest, I blamed it on him.
Yeah.
When I really got out of my feelings and looked at the film, looked at the tape, and I was like, oh man, that's not his fault. That's my fault. I skipped a procedure, what we were taught. We're taught when it's a run, your eyes go reading run or pass, and it was a run, then your eyes directly goes to the receiver, and then you got to defeat the block.
Yeah.
Well, me, 19 years old, have some success, what I'm saying, I'm feeling a certain way, I can skip procedures. I can skip them. I just got to pick six. I
Yeah.
don't need to follow the rules.
Right.
And I didn't follow the rules that was taught to me. And I paid the ultimate price. I don't say ultimate price.
Right.
I got two screws in my knee.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But Phil, let me tell you something. I would not be in front of you right now if it wasn't for that adversity.
Yeah.
That adversity, and it was painful. I don't wish it on anybody.
Yeah.
But that taught me I can turn adversity into anything that I want.
Hmm.
I don't need to be a victim.
Yeah.
This adversity gave me um, the ability to be coached one on
Yes.
one with a world renowned speed coach.
Yeah.
He was our coach, Coach Jimmy Radcliffe.
Yep.
Now, now I didn't know that he was this world renowned guru. I didn't, and he
Yeah.
didn't. He didn't come in there with his chest out. Hey, I'm Jimmy
Right.
Radcliffe. I'm world renowned. No, this dude has written books and whatnot. I didn't know all that,
Hmm.
but it gave me a chance to work with him one on one for 6 months, 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. He taught me, Phil. He taught me how to run, efficiently.
Yeah.
When I say efficiently, not wasting any type of movement.
Yep.
So because of this injury, I got a chance to work with him, and he took me from running a 4.48 to a 4.32.
Big deal.
I got stronger. I got more explosive in every direction. So this injury helped me become the success that I had in college and even into the pros.
That's phenomenal. Now, something I don't want to just gloss over, though, obviously, yes, your coach's help, his knowledge, but your willingness to work at it, right? I mean, I'm sure the amount of time and energy you put in just to get back to where you were, but then to exceed it and, see improvements in, speeds and in verticals and things like that was just very intense process.
Very intense. And let me tell you, it was boring. I didn't like it.
Yep.
I would love to say, man, I enjoyed it. Man, no. He was teaching me how to walk
Right.
for weeks,
Yeah.
how to walk efficiently. And then once I mastered that, then it was like how to march efficiently. After that, how to skip efficiently. And then how to run. And so if your listeners watch, if they know about the Karate Kid,
I was just gonna say that reminds me of the Karate Kid,
they,
man.
they know the wax on, wax
Yeah.
off, right? Wax on, wax off, and you're doing things, and you just what I didn't know is it was developing a movement pattern to where a point where I don't think, I just do.
Yeah.
And so I knew how important practice is.
Yep.
I know how important practice is. So he made me practice how to do those things over and over and over again to the point where I don't think now. This
Right.
is me.
Yeah.
This is me.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Tim Grover, who's grown in a lot of popularity over the last couple of years, being an NBA trainer with Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, he goes, people would always be like, hey, can you get me in to come watch Kobe's workout? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he goes, most people would leave just utterly disappointed after watching Kobe practice because he just worked on his shot. He would start in really close and he would shoot all the really close shots, and then he'd take a step back and he'd shoot a little bit further out. But it wasn't like there was these amazing moves or things. He was just, I got to master all of the basics. And then it allows me to be able to do these more complicated moves because I'm not thinking about the basics of it. And I think, that's exactly what you're highlighting is, hey, if I can master this piece of it, it allows everything else to grow from there. But if I haven't even mastered the simple things, then it's tough to even, get to the more complex.
You know what? And here's the cool thing. I'm sure we'll dive into this a little bit later, but those things can also happen out of sport, like in
Yes.
life.
Yep.
If I can start to master the basics of being a good person by thinking of others, by letting my actions speak for myself, if I
Yeah.
can start to do those things, open the door for people, pick up after myself and maybe others,
Yep.
say thank you. Those are fundamental. Those are simple, right? That's
Yep.
like Kobe shooting like a short jumper. If
Right.
I can start to do those things and I can practice being a good person, now it goes to a point where I don't have to think about it.
Yep.
It's just who I am. It's your character.
Yeah. That's good. I love it. And yes, we are going to get to that here in a little bit. So as college is progressing, you continue to have success, your role grows, your statistics grow, and you start getting some national recognition of like, hey, this guy's going to have the opportunity to play at the next level past college. So talk a little bit about, how your college career progressed and then, getting into the NFL draft.
Yeah, man, I think, with college, the game started to kind of slow down for me.
Yeah.
And I knew I knew I was like, okay, I was a preseason. I was, first team all pack
Yeah.
10 my junior year. So I was like, that's cool. And then I go into my senior year and I remember like playing Washington State or somebody, and I remember warming up and the opposing fans were like booing me.
Ah,
They were talking about me, my brother, my mama. They
yeah.
and I was like, man, I said, how they know my mama's name? You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, so they started to kind of just on me, not anybody else. And I was like, oh, that means something.
Yeah.
So, when the other team's fans, when they're talking specifically to me, maybe that means I've arrived.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. Yeah, that means that you're a noticeable
Right.
player.
Yeah, but and I love that. I love that,
Yeah.
just having that um bullseye on your back and
Yeah.
it played well end up getting the opportunity once, my name started. I got an agent and said, okay, they're looking, you're probably first to late first round, or
Yeah.
first round, or early second.
Yeah.
And you're probably like 1, 2, or 3 cornerback. And I was like, what? And so
Yeah.
I was like, they've just seen me on the field. Like, I want to prove to them I'm the best corner on the field, but I'm also the best athlete in
Yeah.
terms of corner. And so I worked my butt off, man. I was given the opportunity to train with down in the Bay Area with Raymond Ferris. Raymond Ferris used to train Jerry Rice, used to train Barry Bonds.
Oh,
He used
wow.
to train a lot of guys in that area. And I got a chance to work with him for about 4 months. And so the biggest thing is, man, I learned what real work is by watching Jerry Rice. I
Yeah.
got a chance to train with him for 4 months, like every day.
Yeah.
Now he didn't. Now we wasn't homeboys. He barely
Right.
said 5 words to me, but I got a chance to watch him.
Right. I was gonna say it's that mental repetition, right? Just like the Colorado camp.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my goodness, he works hard.
Yeah.
And so I thought I was a hard worker. Of course, I'm this, I'm that, I'm rookie. Man, no, that's how you work. That's how a 10-year at the time, 10-year, 11-year veteran works. So
Yeah.
I gotta step my game up.
That's phenomenal. And so you end up getting drafted 11th overall.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a big deal, man.
Hey, one of my biggest dreams, man, was going to New York.
Yeah.
Back in the day, that was where the draft was held. Going to New York, them, calling my name, or me getting on the phone, right, talking. They just drafted me, and then walking, to grab my jersey and hold it up with the commissioner, Paul Tagliabue. Yeah, man, it was a dream come true.
Yeah. I mean, talk about the emotion of in that moment, accomplishing a goal that, one, you've been dedicating so much time and effort to, but also just, that feeling of fulfillment of, reaching a pinnacle moment for you.
Man, it was something that it seems like a dream,
Yeah.
because I've watched Emmitt Smith, Deion Sanders. I've watched these guys over the years, and I always envisioned myself. I took the head off of Deion and I put my head on it, and I was like, that's me,
Yeah.
with the cameras in my face and taking a picture, getting a phone call. And it was so surreal. Like, it went by like that.
Yeah.
It was, man, but it's very powerful. I do remember, though, not getting a phone call. I
Yeah.
feel
Cause
somehow, I
this
feel
is what, mid 90s.
yeah, mid-90s.
Yeah.
So everybody else don't get a phone call, and I'm sitting there watching on TV, and then with the 11th pick, New Orleans Saints select Alex Molden. I was like, well, where's my phone call? This can't be right, right? So I'm like, oh, this is weird. Oh, let me get up, hug my mom,
Yeah.
hug my agent, my brother, and then walked on. And I'm the whole time like, man, damn, I didn't get a phone call, man. This is messed up, man.
Hey, that's a darn good surprise, though.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. So as you transition in and you're, with the Saints now, talk a little bit about being rookie and, once again, that high school to college jump is one thing. The college to the pro jump is a different game.
Totally different game. And you playing with grown ass men now
Yeah, right.
who
Right. It's
have
not like on the
families.
other. Yeah.
Yeah. Not like fighting for a scholarship. No, they fighting. Yeah. They're, trying to take care of their kids.
Right.
So it's a different type of mentality. You got to have thick skin in the locker room,
Mhm.
because they'll talk about you. My
Right.
first interaction in the locker room was with Rufus Porter. And at the time, before I had braces, I came out, teeth was all jacked up. And Rufus, first thing he said, I'm shaking people's hands and, hey, man, nice to meet you, Alex. Yeah, man, nice to meet you, man. Hey, welcome to the team. And Rufus Porter, like, damn, Rook, look at your teeth. And I was like, nobody's ever said anything else about my teeth. I know I got jacked up teeth.
Right.
I had no money to fix them back then, but he said that, and that cut me deep,
Oh
cut
yeah.
me deep, you
Right.
know. So,
Yeah.
but I was like, okay, I gotta develop something here. I gotta develop thick skin.
Yeah.
And then understanding that it is a business,
Mm-hmm.
and understanding like it's very, I mean, the average is less than 4 years.
Right.
So what type of character do I need to have
Yep.
to become? I mean, it's first, it starts on where you want to go. I want to have a
Mhm.
long career. I want to play 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. You need to link up with guys who have played 8, 9, 10 years,
Right.
and take notes on how they study, how they practice, how they take care of their bodies, how they take
Yeah.
care of their money.
Yep.
Right. So I did that. I wasn't like, that rookie that hung out with the other rookies or second and third year players. No, I
Yep.
was like, man, Eric Allen,
Yeah.
8, 9 year all pro, Anthony Newman.
Yeah.
What did they do? How did they treat their bodies? Hey man, they got a massage therapist, they got a chiropractor, they got acupuncturist, they got all this. So I started to kind of, surround myself with people where, they were where I want to go. I'm going to do what they do.
Yeah, I love that. That's phenomenal. Now, I know we're on a bit of time, so what I might do is we'll highlight the young years and then we'll do this again and we'll go the older years in present day. But one thing that I'd
Yeah,
like to get, covered today is that conversation you had with your coach about alignment, assignment, adjustment. I think that's so powerful.
absolutely. Thank you. So I had a coach my second year in the NFL with the Saints. His name was
Yeah.
Willie Shaw.
Yeah.
Willie Shaw was a vet. He coached for 20 plus years in the NFL. And actually, his son is David Shaw, the head coach for the Stanford Cardinals.
Yeah.
And I remember when David used to come to our practices as a little, GA assistant,
Yeah.
taking notes and stuff. But so Willie, one of my first practices, and it was in spring, so our spring mini camps. And after the first practice, he said, "Hey, hey, 2-5." He couldn't call me Rook because this was my second year, right? Say, "Hey, 2-5, come over here for a second." And I came over. I was like, "Yeah, coach." Said, "Yeah, hey, Alex, you want to play a long time in this league?" "Yeah, absolutely, coach. Yeah, what? Yeah." He said, "Okay, I'm going to give you these three things." And but by then I was like, if I had a notepad, I would have been taking notes. I would have been everything out of his mouth, right? Well
Yeah.
respected. He said, alignment, assignment, and adjustment.
Mm.
I was like, that's it. I mean, damn. I mean, I didn't say that, but I was
Right.
thinking like,
Yeah.
come on, man. But he said, Alex, did you know half the time you were out there, you were not aligned correctly?
Mm.
I was like, oh man, yeah, on the different coverages, there's different alignments.
Yeah.
You were misaligned. So you're giving the offense even more of an advantage. You
Mm.
can't do that if you want to play for me.
Yeah.
Damn, okay. I got to be aligned correctly. Check. Okay. Your assignment. Did you know what you were doing? Did you know your job? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Did you know the safety's job? Did you know the linebacker's job on every play?
Yeah.
I said, no, I didn't. Okay, you need to learn the role of the people out there on the field with you. When you can do that, you're going to have more success. You get to be able to hold people accountable where they need to be,
Yeah.
and they get to hold you accountable.
Mm.
I said, okay, okay. And he said, the adjustment. He said, Alex, there's going to be adjustments on every play. In the NFL,
Yeah.
nobody just lines up and hikes the ball. They're going to audible, they're going to motion, they're going to do shifts. You need to be thinking ahead. You need to always know what if. If
Right.
you can cover the what ifs, now you're not surprised. I was like, okay. I
Yeah.
think that my job was just learning my role,
Yep.
learning the defense, my job, and I'm good.
Yep.
He opened my eyes during that conversation.
Mm.
And I started to really practice that, like really be intentional during practice.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest reasons why I played as long as I did,
Yeah.
is I mastered alignment, assignment, and adjustments.
That's phenomenal. And I think two things I would highlight there. One, It takes boldness as a coach to confront you, right? Or whether that's a boss to someone that's working on your team, like to do the confront. But for you then to also have the, humbleness to say, all right, coach, yeah, I'm game, like teach me that, and then actually apply it.
You know what, Phil, I think the, the biggest thing, because I don't think I would have listened like I did if it was somebody
Mm.
who was their first or second year
Yeah.
as a coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because so
Right.
and so I understand leadership. I coach on leadership. You know, my book is about that, about leadership. But it's like experience is an influencer.
Mm. Yeah.
Your experience will cause people to follow you.
Yep.
These gray hairs I got, I don't like them, right? I don't like that. But this is experience.
Yeah.
For somebody, that's like, man, he's been around that.
Yep.
Maybe maybe I should heed his advice.
Mm.
So Willie Shaw's experience really helped me like pay close attention to where he was doing his all, you know what, also his success.
Yes.
He's had success. Because if he didn't, he wouldn't have been coaching as long as he had. They would get rid of
Right.
you.
Yeah.
His success, right? How
Yep.
he communicated, he was very clear. He didn't yell, he didn't scream. Another cool thing about Willie is he didn't get all emotional
Yeah.
depending if you won or if you lost.
Mm.
I've had coaches,
Yeah.
depending if we win, man, he's your homeboy. I had a
Yeah.
coach, he was my homeboy, everybody's homeboy when we won.
Yeah.
It didn't matter how I played. Because there was games where I sucked, but we won.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, it's my homeboy.
Mm-hmm.
When we lost, he didn't want to talk to you.
Yep.
There was games where I balled out,
Yeah.
but we lost. He didn't care. He didn't care how I feel.
Wow.
So I was like, wow. So they
Right.
ups and down depending if we won or lost.
Mm.
Not Willie. Willie shot you the truth. He said, hey, yeah, we lost. It's a team sport. I said, but you keep playing how you playing,
Yeah.
we're gonna win more than we lose.
Mm.
So he looked at the data,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
you played, not just how we did, because we didn't have a great offense
Right.
that year. He looked at the data. He took feelings out of it.
Yep.
And I had, like I said, other coaches that would be all in their feelings depending on if we won or lost.
Yeah.
So that taught me something about what leadership is, like
Yeah.
real leadership.
Yes. That's great. Well, Alex, I appreciate you sharing the younger years today. I cannot wait to release this one. And then we're going to do this again. And we'll have the additional and then into today, focusing on your book and the leadership you're doing today. So thanks again so much for being
I
on.
can't wait, man. Let's jump on the call real soon. I'm serious. I'm
Yes,
ready.
sir. Yes, sir.